Hello friends, in this video we will create a AWT button and we will see the use of action listener. So this video shows you creating a text field, then a command button. Then how do we handle the button click event of the command button and put a text in that text field. So this video uses the already created frame window. So creating the frame window is explained in the video playlist 04, video number 01. So that's the base video. You can watch it here. Alright, the AWT button is used to inform the application that user want to perform some action. Let's say that you have a dialog box with text, then there is a save button. That means it informs the user that when you click save, the content in the text box will get saved to the disk or in some other way, but the content in the text box will get saved. So when user performs the click action on the button save, the application will actually perform the action of saving the text box content. When user places the mouse cursor over a button and clicks on it, it will create a action event, and the action event is given to the action listener. So there will be an event producer and event listener. So whenever an event produced, the event listener is notified. So in case of a button, the event produced is the action event, and an action listener can respond to that action event. So in this video we will see what is action event and action listener. But here in this video we are not going to use action event, but we will see how action listener is responding to the button click event. Below we are creating a AWT button, so that's the first step we are going to do here. So before that, in this example we are going to create a frame window. That means we are going to use the already created frame window. So if you want to create a frame window, you have to watch the first video in this playlist. So we assume that AWT frame window is readily available. Then what we will do, we will create a AWT button and a text field. Then in the text field, user will enter his or her name. Then they will click the button, AWT button. So once they click the AWT button, it will greet the person and it will place that greeting message in the AWT text box. So that's the sample we are going to create in this video. So now we are in the first step. So in the first step we are going to create the AWT button inside the frame window. So to create the AWT button, we will call its constructor new button, and inside the parentheses we state greet me. So the greet me will appear as a button caption or button text. Here in the left side we are holding a reference for that new button greet me. Then we are handing over it to the frame window by calling its add method. So once the button is created, it will look like this, and you can see the caption text greet me. Currently the button is in focus, that's why you are seeing a dotted rectangle around this button. So once you do the left click of mouse on this button, the button will get clicked. Alright, now we will do this first step in Eclipse. So here is our Eclipse. We already created a frame window. Let me just execute so that you can see it. So the frame window doesn't have anything at this moment. Now what we are going to do, first we are going to create a button. You already saw that code in the PowerPoint. So first we need to import the required package, and the package is java.awt and the class name is button. So that got imported. Let me organize it so that you can know what are all the content added as part of this video demo. Alright, so we created a button, then we added it to the frame window. Now if I execute it, you can see this button and it is focused. So if I hit the space bar or if I hit the enter button, so enter button is not doing anything. So if I hit the space bar, it will click the button, or you can even hover the mouse cursor here and you can do a left click. So when I press the left mouse button, the button get impressed to the form, and if I release the button, it will come back to its original state. I'm clicking down and releasing it. But if you see here, the button is actually producing an action event here, but there is no listener so far. That's why the form is not responding here. I mean, there is no listener to take a corresponding action, but still the AWT will produce a action event here. Alright. Alright, now we go to our next step. So in the previous step we created a button. Now we want to implement a action listener. That means a handler method for that button click. So here we will tell what action we want to do when somebody clicks that button. So action listener is an AWT interface. The implementing class can handle the action event produced by the source. That means the event source. In our case, a button is the event source. So what event? Action event. Who is producing it? Button is producing it. And the implementing class here, whoever implements the action listener interface will provide a method, and that method will act as a handler method for this action event produced by the button. The interface asks you to implement the action performed method, and AWT framework will send the action event to this method. In this video example, we are not going to use that action event, but we perform some action in the handler method. Below is the signature of the action performed method. And if you see, the method is receiving an action event E. Alright, now we will provide the handler for that button in Eclipse. So as part of this second step, first we need to implement action listener interface, then provide the handler method action performed. So this is our frame window class which extends frame. This frame window is already implementing a window listener, which we saw in the very first video. Alright, now here we are going to implement action listener. So first what it is saying, it is asking to import the required class, I mean the required interface here. So this is coming from java.awt.event package. So action listener is the one which got imported. So let me place it here. And once I save the content, the error switched to frame window, because since it's an interface, it is expecting to implement a method. So here we will go for add unimplemented methods. Once I double click it, and you will see a handler method. So now when user clicks the greet me button, the code reaches here, I mean the control flow reaches here to the action performed event. Here we can handle the event of clicking this button, greet me button. Alright. Now we will go to step 3. Here we are going to add a text field to frame window. Next we add text field to the frame window. User will enter his or her name and clicks the AWT button which we created in the first step. So the action, which means the click action, will greet the person by placing a message in the text field. So text field we are going to create in this step. So the purpose of this text field is to greet the person, or to show the message that greets the person name, I mean the person. Now we need to add a text field to the frame window. First we declare it as a class member. If you look at the first step, we created the button in the constructor itself. We declared the button inside the constructor and we created it. But here, text field, we need to declare it as a class member. Why? Because we are going to access this text field inside the handler function. So since the text field needs to be visible between the constructor as well as the handler function, we are declaring it as a class member. So here if you see, the code snippet 3 shows declaring a text field. So this text field also will come from AWT package, and the reference name here is a txt1, and at present it is not pointing to anything. Next we create AWT text field and add it to the frame window. So just like a button field, here we are creating a text field. So for the constructor we are passing a number 25. That means a text field to hold 25 characters gets created, and the reference is stored here in txt1. txt1 is at class level, so that the member function of this class can access this text field. Alright, so after creating the text field in the heap, we are handing over it to the add method of the frame window, so that a frame window can show the text field as shown here. So in our example, if you see, first we create the button, next we create the text field. So here first we added a button, so that appears first. Next we added a text field, and that appears next to this greet me button. If you think each of these control as a word, so that's how word processor will the words in word processor will flow, right? So in Notepad, if you start typing your a paragraph, each word will go in a line next to the existing word, and when there is no room to specify a complete word in a single line, then a word wrap occurs. Word wrap means the word will go to the next line, so the word will be moved to the next line, and after that if you start typing, the content will start moving towards right in the next line. Alright, same way here, the controls first will get placed in the first line, and when there is no room to accommodate the new incoming control, it automatically moves to the next line. Alright, so here we added the button first, then text field next, so that's why in the same order it is appearing. So greet me button is appearing first, then the text field is appearing, and here the default focus is on the greet me button. Alright, now we will create the text field and we will display that in the frame window. So here is our class and constructor is starting here. First we need to declare our text. So the text field is declared and it is asking to import the control. So here we are importing the text field class from AWT package. So the text field is added. So at present we are using two control. One is button and another one is text field. And since we already handled the event, I mean we have a empty skeleton for the handler function, and here action listener, which is what we are implementing, and the action event that will be produced by the button, also it is passed as a parameter here. So far we are using 4 classes from the AWT package. Here is the text field, which is declared at the class level. Now we will create the text field. Here we are creating a text field of 25 character length, then we are adding it to the frame window. So if you see here, we are adding a two control. First we added a button, after that we added a text field. So when we execute it, first button will appear, next the text field will appear in the frame window, and you can see it here. And if I hit a space bar, the focus goes to greet me button. So if user want to enter something, they have to switch the focus. They can either hit the tab button, so it will switch the focus to text box, and you can see a blinking cursor in that text box. I can even, so let me switch back to the button. So you can even click inside the text box and focus automatically shifts. After that you can start typing. Alright. Now we added a text field to our frame window. Now we have a handler also. In the action performed handler, we set a greeting string to our text field. Alright. So here is the method, I mean the content for the action performed handler. Here what we are doing, first we are getting the text from the text field using the getText method. You can see it here, txt1.getText, that will retrieve the content present in the text field. Then we are appending hello. So hello is the preceding text, hello comma 1 space, then whatever text entered in the greet text will appear. Then that string we are passing it to the set text. So the text box will display that content. Finally, we register the AWT button class with the action listener. So here greet me button is hooked with the current class. So here we are passing this right, this means the frame window, and frame window is implementing the action listener. That means we are passing an instance of the class that implements action listener. Since our frame window itself is implementing the action listener, we are passing that instance to the add action listener method of the java.awt.button. Now our window is capable of handling the button click event of the greet me button. So here if you see, greet me is the button and it produces the action event, and action event is listened by the action listener. So once we implement action listener, the action listener is asking us to implement the action performed method. So the greet me a button which produces the action event. That action event is sent to this action performed handler method. So the action event is coming here as a parameter. Even though in this example we are not using the action event, we are still handling this method. So inside the method we are setting the text, and you can see that here above in the sample 04. So that sample 04 is performing the setText method. So whatever text is entered in the text box is retrieved, then that is appended with hello in the front. So then we are making call to the setText. So when user clicks the greet me button, the greeting message will appear in the text box. Alright, now we will implement this final step in Eclipse. So we already have the action performed. So once we place this action listener, Eclipse asked us to implement the action performed method. So we just provided a dummy implementation. Now we will place a meaningful code here. So what we are doing, whatever is there in the text field, we are taking that text content, then we are appending a hello in the front of that text. Then we are once again setting that resulting content. So that's the action we perform when user clicks the greet me button. So this is the greet me button added to the frame window. User clicks this greet me button. The greet me button will produce the action event, and it sends that action event to action performed method. And in action performed, we are setting the text, and the greeting message will now appear in this text. So since txt1 we want at 2 method level, that's why we declared this txt1 as a member field. So now we will execute this. So this is the greet me, and so if I click greet me button, it will take the content entered here. So down is the content entered here. txt1.getText will retrieve this content, then it appends that with a hello spacebar. So the resulting string is hello John. So then we are setting that back to the text box. So now let me click the greet me button. Here nothing happens. Why? Because we created the action event, but the button is not registering this listener. So action listener is there, button is also there, but they are not yet linked. So now we need to link them. So here is the method greet me.add action listener. Now the button as well as action listener, this here refers the current instance. The current instance is the frame window. Frame window implements action listener, and action listener method is here action performed. So when we pause this, we are telling to the greet me button that the current class itself is a listener which is interested in the action event, right? So when greet me produces the action event, it will call the handler method which is available on this frame window. All right, now we will execute it. Now if I click greet me, it will say hello John. So that's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.